Hi everyone, I'm Vandana here from Immigration Advisors New Zealand, and I'm making this video to answer few of the questions that we are getting pertaining to culturally arranged marriage visitor visa. So a lot of you are inquiring on if I'm eligible, what are the documents that I have to be aware of. So here I am giving as much information as I can, so you have a clarity on whether you meet the eligibility criteria for a camp visitor visa, what are the documents that you should be mindful of, aware of, or really important for this category. And if you have any further questions, I'll be there to answer. So first of all, who is eligible to apply for a culturally arranged marriage visitor visa? So partners of New Zealand citizens or resident visa holders can apply for a camp visitor visa, either if they are planning to come and get married here in New Zealand, or if the marriage has taken place less than 3 months back. One important aspect for this category is that the marriage has to be culturally arranged. So what does it mean in the immigration perspective? As per the immigration instructions, what the officer would like to look at is that the initial selection or the facilitation of the initial selection was done by a third party, was done by somebody who is not a party to this wedding. So what does it really mean? So what it really means in simple terms is that somebody has arranged this marriage for you, in the sense that you were introduced by your parents through a matrimonial site, through a third party, and if that is what it is, you would have to then prove it on the documents. And that is what really gets tricky at times. We do get clients who would have got into a matrimonial arrangement through a matrimony site. They would have got into a relationship with a third party intervention or a matchmaker. And what are the struggles? So sometimes yes, the marriage was advertised in the matrimonial site, but the applicant or the partner's email ID was used to register in the matrimonial site, or their phone numbers were given. So then how do you prove to immigration that despite the email being of the applicant, despite the number being of the applicant, they were not involved in the initial selection? That gets tricky at times. Or for that matter, if there was a matchmaker involved, we are aware in most of those cultures where culturally arranged marriage takes place, a lot of conversation, especially where the matrimonial or a matchmaker is involved, happens over the phone. So at times clients will come to us and they would say, hey, yes, there was my uncle's friend who was involved, but I have no documents. Yes, it was arranged by one of my aunt, but it was all done face to face or over a phone call. So how do we prove that on documents? So for all of you who are planning to get married, all of you who would have recently got married, make sure that you consider this category if you do not have enough time to have lived together with your partner and you want to see what are the options that the partner could come to New Zealand on. So another important aspect that you would have to consider is that the marriage follows the identified cultural traditions and the norms as per your religion, as per your tradition, as per your culture. That's a bit easier part to explain on documents. So make sure that you look at all your documents. If your documents do prove that the initial selection was done by a third party, if your documents do prove that you were not involved in the initial selection or facilitation of the initial selection, can consider this category for your partner's application. If you have any questions in this space, feel free to get in touch and I'll be happy to provide as many answers as I can. Thank you so much.